Hey, so I had a lot of people ask about my office. I just posted some pictures on Facebook and people were asking me, hey, I want to see some progress. I enjoyed seeing those pictures, so I wanted to do a quick video walkthrough of where I came from and how I got there. So this I want to show you is my original workspace. It's kind of a mess right now, but this is kind of where I was, in this little hole up here in this bedroom that we kind of converted into a media room upstairs. So for the boys' birthday, I took this space over here and kind of made this a little game area for them. So which is great, but at the same time when they come home after school, I kind of don't like the idea of kicking them out of this room that I built for them for their birthday so that I can do my work. And also you'll see this is another reason why I needed my own space for some of the things you see out here. So if you want a good idea as to why I want an office in my home that is separate from the rest of it, this is what a typical evening after school looks like here at my house. So a lot of the neighborhood kids over here, we got a great backyard. They love to come over and play. I want to encourage that, but at the same time, I have a lot of things that I need to get done. So it is important that I have a space where I can kind of go and be private and kind of off to my own, make phone calls or do something and still have some peace and quiet. So these kids can be kids and be welcome over here. So here we are at the front entrance, and without further ado, I will show you the office. So at this point it's basically done. There's a couple of things I do want to finish here and there. I'm going to put a barn door at this entrance right here, so it kind of shuts everything out and I can have some peace and quiet, a little bit more than what I already do have. But I'll kind of walk through and kind of show you some of the highlights and some of the things that I did to make this the way it is. This is actually a pretty cool map. If you guys have seen these around, they're made by Naplab. I'll put a link in the comments or video description of where you can get this. Silver in the City on Mass Ave sells them. They're really cool, and the posters themselves aren't that expensive. However, I'll warn you, if you do get one, frames are super expensive for these. I'm talking like $200-300 to get one made, because nobody makes frames in this size and you have to get custom made. I did not spend that much on this. I actually made this myself with some few pieces of wood, and it's there's no way I was spending $300 on a frame. But anyway, kind of walk through here. We have a little shelf, some extra storage, some more shelves here. Right now I just got some cool, my old car collectibles here. The Lamborghini here we got on a cruise one time. This Corvette actually is a cool story. It's my dad's. His first model from the Franklin Mint. This was his favorite car growing up, so that one's kind of special to me. I have that, so he initially went on to buy that one too. So these are the things I got from my dad when he passed away. Also this one, this Corvette there, a little C4. He actually had one, not this exact one. It was the earlier model with the round tail lights, and it was red. But so that kind of reminds me of that kind of car. I know it's not the best Corvette ever, but it's kind of dear to my heart because of that. So here's the desk area. We'll get to that again here in a second, but then I have my file cabinet over here with some storage and a little chair to sit in. My wife actually likes to sit there. It's a good spot to read or do some brainstorming in. Got some shelf up there with my racing stuff. Recent acquisition right there. So now we have the desk. You kind of see the house has some bump outs there naturally with the window there. So kind of mirrored that on this side, and actually that used to be a doorway, because this room at one point right before I did this was a dining room, but growing trend, a lot of people would prefer to have an office as a dining room. We had this dining room in here, we used it maybe 2-3 times a year. So it really didn't get that much use out of it. It's a cool space. It's nice to have as a dining room, but this is just actually gets daily use for me, so it's a much more better use of space. We're eventually going to put another table. We have a pretty large living room, so I'm going to put another table in there to use for dining area. But for now, this is great. We have another dine-in area in the kitchen that we eat at most of the time anyway, so we're still using that. So I will show you now actually what is on the other side of that wall, because it's not just a wall. Actually, I wanted to make something else that was useful. So this is not the doorway that you saw, but this is the entrance from our garage. And we have a little area here, laundry room, half bath to the right, but to the left here is where we used to be the doorway to the dining room from the kitchen. So now when you come in here, you kind of see what we have here is a little motion sensor light. Kind of hard to see from this angle maybe, but place for coats, shoes, nice place to put them on. Little cubby, so drop zone for all our stuff. So that's much more out of the way compared to what we used to have, which was this area over here. That shelf's going away. We used to have a bunch of just clutter here as you first walked in the door, which was kind of an eyesore. So now back to the desks and everything here. So all of these were pretty much handmade except for the cabinets. These two lower cabinets here, and on the other side if you can see it, ones that we just had laying around here. I just took them, sanded them down, repainted them. And then these other cabinets on the top here are all just cheap unfinished cabinets I got from Home Depot. Painted them the blue, put the hardware on, and made them like they are. So this one, this bottom base in the middle, as you can see here, this was actually something I made from scratch, just with some plywood. Custom made it so that printer would fit there and it's nice and snug and out of the way, and be able to have wires hidden away. At the bottom, nice storage for paper. The desktops themselves are actually sheets of plywood that I doubled up and kind of made, they're super solid, super strong, and then just finished off with some polyurethane. No stain, but I like the light wood look. So this center cabinet is actually a base cabinet I flipped upside down, which I thought was a pretty cool idea. Came up with that myself, thank you very much. Took this drawer and just flipped it upside down, and just now it pulls out. I have all my writing stuff here. So this is kind of my little space right here where I do a lot of my work. Eventually I'd like to get another chair. That one's kind of wearing down, but so that's a great spot for me to sit there and do a lot of my stuff that I do on a daily basis. And then kind of made this to where I could stand. Eventually we're going to get 4 stools to put underneath of it that we can pull out and sit down if we wanted to. So if we have a group of people, we can sit there and kind of get together and collaborate on whatever. Also a good spot for me to stand at and kind of get the blood working in my legs so I don't sit all day. And just kind of move my papers around and organize things, put out packets or whatever I need to do. So this spot is just kind of another desk area. This was kind of created for my wife so she could have a space in here. I didn't want to fully take over this room, so she really hasn't moved in anything yet, but it's a good spot for her to kind of sit and do things. And if eventually if I outgrow my space, or if I need someone else in here or whatever to do stuff, I have a spot for them. So that's that spot. So some of my little things there. It's a football signed by Andrew Luck. Some of the Colts that she actually got that at a charity event. I think that was Andrew Luck's rookie year, I believe. So right now these cabinets are pretty much empty, waiting to be filled by the wife. Down here I have some basic, just notes, business cards, stuff like that. Each of these desks have these, let me see if you can see it there, built-in plugs and chargers, stuff that I got off of Amazon. So this cabinet's kind of built to hold basically my PC and my racing wheel and stuff like that when I want to play Mario and Andretti. And it stays nice and quiet and hidden and clean that way. And mine's filled up over here with all my camera equipment and marketing materials, stuff like that. Oh, intruder. So anyway, that's the office. If you have any questions on how I built it or want some ideas and thoughts on yours, let me know.